Sunday, no?
Krishna Vadaya
Krishna Prasthaya
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi
Gauravani Pracharine
Nirvishesha Sunyavadi
Pacharya Deshatarine
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi
Gaura-Govinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare Namo Krishna
Yadavaya Namaha
Govinda Govindaram
Srimad-Sudam
Moksha Karoti Vajalam
Pangum Landayate Girim
Vande
Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam
Paramanandamaram
Shri Chaitanya Meshwara
Hare Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we will continue with the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. Today's chapter is entitled Vārāṇasī Flooded. Haribo. Haribo. Gauranga. Under the section, how all the residents of Vārāṇasī became Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.154.
নিরন্তর কীর্তনে আদেশ নাম আভাসে মুক্তি নিরন্তর কর কৃষ্ণ নাম সংকীর্তন হেলায় মুক্তি পাবে পাবে প্রেমধন
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, always discuss Srimad Bhagavatam and constantly chant the holy names of Lord Krishna. In this way, you will be able to attain liberation very easily and you will be elevated to the enjoyment of love of Godhead.
Haribo.
Haribo!
So this was the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Mayavadi sannyasi Prakashananda Saraswati.
So this was the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Mayavadi sannyasi Prakashananda Saraswati.
Mayavadis are anxious for liberation.
The Mayavadis are anxious for liberation.
And liberation is easily obtained by chanting Hare Krishna.
Liberation is easily obtained by chanting Hare Krishna.
But more important, one can get love of Krishna.
But more important, one can get love for Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.155.
ভগবদ গীতার 18:54 রয়েছে
One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This is a verse from Bhagavad Gita 18:54.
So by practicing devotional service, one naturally obtains all good qualities.
So by practicing the devotional service, one obtains all good qualities. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.156.
শ্রীমদ ভাগবতের দশম স্কন্ধের 87 অধ্যায়ের 21 নম্বর শ্লোকে শ্রীধর ধৃত সর্বজ্ঞ ভাষ্যকার ব্যাখ্যা ও নৃসিংহ তাপনিতে দ্বিতীয় স্কন্ধের পঞ্চম অধ্যায়ের 16 নম্বর শ্লোকে রয়েছে
Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs a deity and renders the Lord's service. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is a quotation from Shankaracharya's commentary on the Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad.
I met the Shankaracharya of Puri.
When I met the Shankaracharya of Puri,
He had deities of Radha and Krishna.
he had deities of Radha and Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.157.
ভাগবতের দ্বিতীয় স্কন্ধের প্রথম অধ্যায়ের নবম শ্লোকে রয়েছে
Shukdev Goswami addressed Parikshit Maharaj, "My dear king, although I was fully situated in the transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, I studied Srimad Bhagavatam from my father." Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.9.
So, Sukadeva Goswami had already realized the impersonal Brahman.
So Sukdev Goswami had already realized the impersonal Brahman.
Even though he was in that liberated position,
Even though he was in that liberated position,
he became attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna.
he became attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna.
I read those from his father.
So he heard those from his father. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.158. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.15.43. Tasya nayanasya padaravinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda vayu antargatasva vivarena chakara tesham Shangshogam aksharajusham api chitta tanvo. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead entered through the nostrils into the hearts of those sages, the Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.15.43. For an explanation, see Madhya Leela, chapter 17, verse number 142.
So the Bhagavatas were obstructed at the gate of the Vishnuloka.
So the four Kumaras were obstructed at the gate of the Vishnuloka.
And they cursed the doorkeepers.
And they cursed the doorkeepers.
When Vishnu himself arrived,
When Vishnu himself arrived,
they paid obeisances.
they paid obeisances.
And then the priest carried the aroma of tulsi into their nostrils.
And then the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi entered their nostrils.
And then they felt ecstasy.
And then they felt ecstasy.
Although they are in the impersonal realization,
Although they were in the impersonal realization,
they are immediately converted to bhaktas.
they were immediately converted into bhaktas. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.159. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgranta api urukrame kurvanti ahaitu kim bhaktim ittam bhuta guno harihi. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Lord Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendently attractive features. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. For an explanation, see Madhya Leela, chapter 24.
Lord Krishna explained this verse, the Atmarama verse, twice.
So Lord Krishna,
Chaitanya,
Lord Chaitanya explained this Atma Rama verse twice.
once to the Sarvamacharya,
Once to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya,
and then he was asked by explain it again.
and he was asked to explain it again.
And he was told that there's 18 different explanations.
And he told that 18 different explanations.
Lord Chaitanya explained it again, and he explained many more ways.
And Lord Chaitanya explained it again in many more ways. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.160.
মহারাষ্ট্রীয় বিপ্র কর্তৃক প্রভুর 61 প্রকার অর্থ ব্যাখ্যান ক্ষমতা প্রশংসা। হেনকালে সেই মহারাষ্ট্রীয় ব্রাহ্মণ সবাতে কহিল সেই শ্লোক বিবরণ।
At this time, the Brahmana from the province of Maharashtra mentioned Lord Chaitanya's explanation of the Atma Rama verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.161.
এই শ্লোকের অর্থ প্রভু 61 প্রকার করিয়াছেন যাহা শুনি লোকে চমৎকার।
The Maharashtrian Brahmana stated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already explained that verse in 61 ways. Everyone was astonished to hear this.
It's quite amazing that someone could explain one verse 61 different ways.
It's quite amazing that someone could explain one verse in 61 different ways. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.161. 162. Sorry, Shri Guru Maharaj.
সকলের আগ্রহে প্রভু কর্তৃক 61 প্রকার অর্থ ব্যাখ্যান। তবে সব লোক শুনি আগ্রহ করিল 61 অর্থ প্রভু বিবরী কহিল।
When all the people gathered there expressed the desire to hear again the 61 different meanings of the Atma Rama Shloka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again explained them.
So, Lord Chaitanya, he explained the Atmarama verse with 61 different explanations.
So Lord Chaitanya, he explained the Atma Rama verse with 61 different explanations. Again.
And this was very amazing to the people who were present.
So this was very amazing to the people who were present. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 25.163.
প্রভুর পাণ্ডিত্যে সকলের বিস্ময় ও তাহাকে পরমেশ্বর শ্রীকৃষ্ণ রূপে নির্ধারণ শুনিয়া লোকের বড় চমৎকার হইল চৈতন্য গোসাই শ্রীকৃষ্ণ নির্ধারিল।
When everyone heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the Atma Rama verse, Atma Rama Shloka, everyone was astonished and struck with wonder. They concluded that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than Lord Krishna himself.
Haribo! So, since it's very uncommon, someone would be able to explain a verse
So
61 different ways.
So it seems it was very uncommon for someone to explain a verse in 61 different ways.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself.
So they concluded that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself.
The Lord Chaitanya, he manifested himself, and he enjoyed the scholarship leelas.
So Lord Chaitanya, he manifested himself and enjoyed the scholastic leelas.
So he was my Pandit in Navadvip,
So he was Nimai Pandit in Navadvip,
and now that he's traveling, he's using his Pandit
now that,
quality to preach.
so now that he's traveling, he's using his Pandit quality to preach.
But he is actually Krishna himself.
For he is actually Krishna himself. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.164.
প্রভুর গৃহে প্রত্যাগমন এত কহি উঠিয়া চলিলা গৌর হরি নমস্কার করে লোক হরি ধ্বনি করি
After giving those explanation again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arose and took his leave, and all the people there offered their obeisances unto him and chanted the Maha Mantra.
So this way, all the people in Vārāṇasī
So in this way, all the people in Vārāṇasī
are chanting the holy names,
were chanting the holy names,
offering their respects to Lord Chaitanya.
offering their respects to Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.165.
কাশীতে কীর্তন বন্যা সব কাশীবাসী করে নাম সংকীর্তন প্রেমে হাসে কাঁদে গায় করে নর্তন
All the inhabitants of Kashi, Vāraṇasī, began chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in ecstatic love. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they cried, sometimes they chanted, and sometimes they danced.
So Lord Chaitanya gave out his mercy, and the residents of Vārāṇasī experienced love for Krishna.
So Lord Chaitanya gave his mercy, and the residents of Vāraṇasī experienced the love for Krishna.
So we want all the devotees that take the mercy of Lord Chaitanya
So we want all the devotees that they take the mercy of Lord Chaitanya
and chant, dance, cry, laugh,
and chant,
ecstasy.
dance, cry, and laugh in ecstasy. Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Hari Bol. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.166.
প্রভু কর্তৃক কাশী উদ্ধার সন্ন্যাসী পণ্ডিত করে ভাগবত বিচার বারাণসীপুর প্রভু করিলা নিস্তার
After this, all the Mayavadi sannyasis and learned scholars at Vāraṇasī began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them.
I won't read the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Previously, they won't read the Srimad Bhagavatam.
They just read the Vedanta Sutra commentary of Shankaracharya.
So they would read Vedanta Sutra's commentary of Shankaracharya.
But after Lord Chaitanya spoke to them, they started reading the Srimad Bhagavatam.
But after Lord Chaitanya spoke to them, they started reading the Srimad Bhagavatam.
This way, they flooded Vārāṇasī and Krishna devotion.
So in this way, he flooded the Vārāṇasī with Krishna's devotion. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.167.
প্রভুর আগমনে কাশী কৃষ্ণ কোলাহলে মুখরিত, নিজ লোক লইয়া প্রভু আইলা বাসা ঘর, বারাণসী হইল দ্বিতীয় নদিয়া নগর।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then returned to his residence with his personal associate. Thus he turned the whole city of Vārāṇasī into another Navadvip, Nadia Nagar. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Both Navadvip and Vārāṇasī were celebrated for their highly educational activities. At the present time, these cities are still inhabited by great learned scholars. But Vārāṇasī is especially center for Mayavadi sannyas who are learned scholars. However, unlike Navadvip, there are hardly any devotee in Vārāṇasī. Consequently, a discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam was very rare in Vārāṇasī. In Navadvip, such a discussion was quite ordinary. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vārāṇasī and turned Prakashananda Saraswati and his disciples into Vaishnavas, Vārāṇasī became like Navadvip because so many devotees began discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Haribol! Even at that present moment, one can hear many discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam taking place on the banks of the Ganges. Many scholars and sannyasis gather there to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and perform Sankirtan. Haribol!
So, Lord Chaitanya had such a profound effect on Vārāṇasī.
So Lord Chaitanya had such a profound effect on Vārāṇasī.
Vārāṇasī was previously Mayavadi country.
So Vārāṇasī was previously a Mayavadi place.
Now, as the Lord Chaitanya went, they were studying Srimad Bhagavatam and performing Krishna Kirtan.
Now, after Lord Chaitanya went, people were discussing studying Srimad Bhagavatam and performing Krishna Kirtan. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.153.
প্রভুর বদান্য লীলায় ভক্তগণের আনন্দ, চন্দ্রশেখর তপন মিশ্র আর সনাতন, শুনি দেখি আনন্দিত সবাকার মন।
Hearing the arguments of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and seeing his victory, Chandrasekhar, Tapan Mishra, Sanatan Goswami were all extremely pleased. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Here is an example of how a sannyasi should preach. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vārāṇasī, he went there not with a big party. Locally, however, he made friendship with Chandrasekhar, Tapana Mishra, and Sanatan Goswami also came to see him. Therefore, although he did not have many friends there, due to his sound preaching and his victory in arguing with the local sannyasis on Vedanta philosophy, he became greatly famous in that part of the country, as explained in the next verse.
So one, we become well versed Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam,
And one should become well versed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam,
so that if they meet other pundits, then they can represent Lord Chaitanya.
if they meet other pandits, they can represent Lord Chaitanya.
I was in this situation in Jagannath Puri.
I was in this situation in Jagannath Puri.
I met a pundit who, the Sampradaya that was chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Jai Radha Govinda.
I met a pandit who was from a sampradaya, was chanting Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram Radhe Govindo.
So Prabhupada had discussed this. He said they're cutting up the Mahamantra.
Prabhupada has discussed this. You are cutting up the Mahamantra.
I asked, why are you cutting up the Mahamantra? Why don't you chant Hare Krishna completely?
I asked, why are you cutting up the Mahamantra? Why don't you chant the Hare Krishna completely?
So he tried various arguments.
So he tried various arguments.
And he finally, when he couldn't defeat me,
Finally, he couldn't defeat me.
he said, well, we chant the Hare Krishna mantra on Gaur Purnima Day.
When we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra
Gaur Purnima Day.
on Gaur Purnima Day. At least. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.168.
মায়াবাদগ্রস্ত কৃষ্ণ নাম প্রেম বিমুখ ভক্তগণের আগ্রহে যৎ সামান্য শ্রদ্ধা বলে প্রভুর ব্রহ্মার দুর্লভ অক্ষয় নাম প্রেম ভান্ডার কাশীবাসীকে অধিকার নির্বিশেষে বিতরণ নিজ জ্ঞান লইয়া প্রভু কহে হাস্য করি কাশীতে আমি আইলাম বেচিতে ভাব কালী
Among his own associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu laughingly said, I came here to sell my emotional ecstatic love. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.169.
কাশীতে গ্রাহক নাহি বস্তু না বিকায় পুনরূপী দেশে বহি লইয়া নাহি যায়
Although I came to Vārāṇasī to sell my goods, there was no customer, and it appeared necessary for me to carry them back to my own country.
Using the example, Lord Chaitanya using the example of a trader who sells to sell his goods.
So Lord Chaitanya is giving an example of a trader who sells his goods.
And I thought he had to return
So he thought he had to return
without selling any goods.
without selling any goods.
And now you'll see his realization.
Now we will see his realization. Hari Bol. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.170.
আমি বোঝা বহিমু তোমা সবার দুঃখ হইল তোমা সবার ইচ্ছায় বিনামূল্যে বিকাইল
All of you were feeling unhappy that no one was purchasing my goods and that I would have to carry them away. Therefore, by your will only, I have distributed them without charging. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. When we began distributing the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western countries, a similar thing happened. In the beginning, we were very much disappointed, at least 1 year, because no one came forth to help this movement. But by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some young boys joined this movement in 1966. Of course, we distributed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message of European and American boys and girls. We therefore pray for all the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon all the devotees in the Western world who are spreading this movement. Hari Bo.
So, Prabhupada is
When he went to the West,
like watching
it was like Lord Chaitanya going to Vārāṇasī.
and Montreal.
And Montreal.
I visited all the temples in the world.
I visited all the temples in the world.
All three.
All the three.
Now it's not possible.
That was not, now it is not possible.
Visit the 800 temples in the world.
Visiting 800 temples in the world. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.171.
কাশীতে প্রেমবন্যা প্লাবনকারী প্রভুর স্তুতি সবে কহে লোকতারিতে তোমার অবতার পূর্ব দক্ষিণ পশ্চিম করিলা নিস্তার
All the Lord's devotees then said, "You have incarnated to deliver fallen souls. You have delivered them in the east and in the south. Now you are delivering them in the west."
So Lord Chaitanya, he descended from the Golok Vrindavan
So Lord Chaitanya, he descended from the Golok Vrindavan
to deliver all the people of the world.
to deliver all the people of the world.
We need your help, all the devotees who are present,
So we need your help, all the devotees who are present,
help to distribute this love of Godhead that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had brought into the world.
to help to distribute the love of Godhead that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had brought into this world. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.172.
এক বারাণসী ছিল তোমাতে বিমোহ তাহা নিস্তারিয়া কইলা আমা সবার সুখ
Only Vāraṇasī was left because the people there were against your missionary activities. Now you have delivered them, and we are all very happy.
So the Mayavadis and residents of Vārāṇasī
So the Mayavadis and the residents of Vāraṇasī
could not understand Lord Chaitanya's chanting and Sankirtan.
could not understand Lord Chaitanya's chanting in Sankirtan.
Lord Chaitanya was able to explain the importance of chanting,
So Lord Chaitanya was able to explain the importance of chanting,
and thus he flooded the entire Vārāṇasī in this Sankirtan flood.
thus he flooded the entire Vāraṇasī with the Sankirtan flood. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.173.
প্রত্যহ অসংখ্য লোক সমাগম বারাণসী গ্রামে যদি কোলাহল হইল শুনি গ্রামী দেশী লোক আসিতে লাগিল
After the news of these events was broadcast, everyone from the surrounding neighborhoods began to pour in to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
We have seen recently we inaugurated the temple in Patna,
So recently,
Bihar,
we had inaugurated the temple in Patna, Bihar.
and after the temple was, after deities were installed,
After the deities were installed,
so many people rushed into the temple to have darshan.
so many people rushed into the temple to have darshan.
And then the governor and the
Chief Minister.
chief minister also came,
And then the governor and the chief minister also came,
and other VIPs.
and other VIPs.
So this Lord Chaitanya's system is still working around the world.
Lord Chaitanya's system is still working around the world.
All in verses.
How many more verses? 9 more verses, Srila Guru Maharaj.
চৈতন্য চরিতামৃত মধ্যলীলা 25.174 লক্ষ কোটি লোক আইসে নাহিক গণন সংকীর্ণ স্থানে প্রভুর না পায় দর্শন
Hundreds of thousands of people came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was no counting the number because the Lord's residence was very small. Not everyone could see him.
So this is the great quality in India
So this is the great quality in India
that people want to see
that people want to see
special personalities.
spiritual personalities. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.157. 54, sorry.
প্রভুকে দেখিতে আইসে সকল সন্ন্যাসী প্রভুর প্রশংসা করে সব বারাণসী
Many Mayavadi sannyasis of Vāraṇasī came to see the Lord after this incident, and the entire city praised him.
So Lord Chaitanya had changed the mentality of all the people in Vārāṇasī.
So Lord Chaitanya had changed the mentality of all the people in Vārāṇasī.
At first he was very humble. He went in like a needle
So first he
and out
was
like a ball.
very humble. He went in like a needle and
Exiting like a ball.
exited like a flower. Jai. Wonderful. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.155.
প্রভুর পদার্পণে কাশী ধন্যা বারাণসী পুরী আইলা শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য পুরী সহ সর্বলোক হইল মহাধন্য
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the city of Vāranasi and all of its people were very thankful.
We are so fortunate that Lord Chaitanya came here to Navadvip,
So we are very fortunate that Lord Chaitanya came here to Navadvip
and we are able to associate with his devotees.
and we are able to associate with his devotees. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.175.
বিশ্বেশ্বর দর্শন যাত্রাকালে অসংখ্য তৃষ্ণার্ত লোকের প্রভু দর্শন প্রাপ্তি প্রভু যোগে স্নানে যান বিশ্বেশ্বর দর্শনে দুই দিকে লোক করে প্রভু বিলোকনে
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to take his bath in the Ganges and to see the temple of Vishveshwar, people would line up on both sides to see the Lord.
Lord Chaitanya, he bathed in the Ganges.
So Lord Chaitanya, he bathed in the Ganges
He took darshan of Lord Shiva Vishwanath.
and he took the darshan of Lord Shiva, Vishwanath.
All the people would be watching Lord Chaitanya.
All the people would be watching Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Adi Leela 7.156.
অসংখ্য লোকের প্রভু দর্শন লক্ষ লক্ষ লোক আইসে প্রভুকে দেখিতে মহাভীর হইল দ্বারে নারে প্রবেশিতে
The crowd at the door of his residence was so great that it numbered hundreds of thousands.
Lord Chaitanya could not enter his residence.
Lord Chaitanya could not enter his residence
There are so many people there.
because there were so many people there.
So Lord Chaitanya had such an effect.
So Lord Chaitanya had such an effect.
Think how fortunate these people are.
Think how fortunate these people were.
They could see Lord Chaitanya.
They could see Lord Chaitanya.
How many of you would like to see Lord Chaitanya?
How many of you would like to see Lord Chaitanya? Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.157.
প্রভু যোগে যান বিশ্বেশ্বর দর্শনে লক্ষ লক্ষ লোক আসি মিলে সেই স্থানে
When the Lord went to visit the temple of Vishveshwar, hundreds of thousands of people assembled to see him. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The important point in this verse is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly visited the temple of Vishveshwara Lord Shiva at Vāranasi. Vaishnavas generally do not visit a demigod's temple, but here we see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly visited the temple of Vishveshwara, who was the predominating deity of Vāranasi. Generally, Mayavadi sannyasis and worshippers of Lord Shiva live in Vāranasi. But how is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who took a part of a Vaishnava sannyasi, also visited the Vishveshwara temple? The answer is that A Vaishnava does not behave impudently towards the demigods. A Vaishnava gives proper respect to all, although he never accepts a demigod as to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, there are mantras offering obeisances to Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, the sun god, and Ganesha, as well as Lord Vishnu, all of whom are worshipped by the impersonalists as Panchopasana. In their temples, impersonalists install deities of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, the sun god, goddess Durga, and sometimes Lord Brahma also. And this system is continuing at present in India under the guise of Hindu religion. Vaishnavas can also worship all these demigods, but only on the principles of Brahma Samhita, which is recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We may note in this connection the mantras for worshipping Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Goddess Durga, the sun god, Ganesha, as described in the Brahma Samhita. Shrishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Ichanu Rupam Apyasya Chatestate Sa Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit, spiritual potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Brahma Samhita 5.54. Shiram yata dadivikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata pritakhasti heto yashambhutam api tata samupaiti karyat govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. Milk is transformed into curd by the actions of acids, yet the effect, the curd, is neither the same or nor different from its cause, milk. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a similar transformation for the performance of the world of destruction. Brahma Samhita 5.45. Baswan yatasma sakaleshu nideshu teja swiyam kiyat prakatiyat tapitadvatadra Brahma yayesha jagadanda vidhana karta Govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom the separated subjective portion Brahma receives his power for the regulation of the mundane world, just as the sun manifests a portion of his own light in all the effulgent germs that bear such names as Surya Kanta. Brahma Samhita 5.49. Yat pada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha dvande pranama samaye saganadi raja vignan vihantu malamasya jagatrayasya govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda. Ganesha always holds his lotus feet upon the pair of stimuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all obstacles on the path of progress in the three worlds. Brahma Samhita 5.15. Yachakshuresa savita sakalagrahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja yashagya brahmati samrita kala chakro govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. The sun, full of infinite effulgence, who's the king of all the planets and the image of the good soul, is like the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. Brahma Samhita 5.52. All the demigods are servants of Krishna. They are not equal with Krishna. Therefore, if one goes to a temple of Panchopasana as mentioned above, one should not accept the deities as they are accepted by the impersonalists. All of them are to be accepted as personal demigods, but they all serve the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shankaracharya, for example, is understood to be an incarnation of Lord Shiva, as described in the Padma Purana. He propagated the Mayavada philosophy under the order of Supreme Lord. We have already discussed this point in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 7.114 of this chapter. Tar dosha nahi teho agya kari dash. Shankaracharya is not at fault, for he has thus covered the real purport of the Vedas under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Shiva, in the form of a Brahmana, Shankaracharya, preached the false philosophy of Mayavada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nevertheless said that since he did it on the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there was no fault on his part. Tar dosh nahi. We must offer proper respects to all the demigods. If one can offer respects even to an ant, why not to the demigods? One must always know, however, that no demigod is equal to or above the Supreme Lord. Ekale Ishwar Krishna or Arshava Britya. Only Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all others, including demigods such as Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Goddesses Durga, and Ganesha, are his servants. Everyone serves the purpose of the Supreme Godhead. And what to speak of such small and insignificant living entities as ourselves? We are surely eternal servants of the Lord. The Mayavada philosophy maintains that the demigods, the living entities, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all equal. It is therefore a most foolish misinterpretation of the Vedic knowledge. Misrepresentation of the Vedic knowledge, sorry. Chaitanya Chaitanya.
So they respect the Devas as servitors of Krishna.
So we respect the demigods, devas, as the servitors of Krishna.
And they're not evil or greater than Krishna, but they are dear servitors.
They are not equal or greater than Krishna, but they are his dear servitors.
So he said, not disrespect them.
So we should not disrespect them.
And we understand that they are carrying out the order of Krishna.
And we understand that they are carrying out the orders of Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 7.115.
Snan korite jabe jan ganga tire tahai shakal lok hoy mahabhire.
Whenever Lord Chaitanya went to the banks of the Ganges to take his bath, big crowds of many hundreds of thousands of people assembled there.
Everybody wanted to see Lord Chaitanya.
Everybody wanted to see Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela Adi Leela 7.159.
হরিকীর্তন করাইয়া প্রভুর লোক উদ্ধার বাহু তুলি প্রভু বলে বল হরি হরি হরির ধ্বনি করে লোক স্বর্গ মর্ত ভরি.
Whenever the crowds were too great, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood up, raised his hands and chanted
Hari Hari!
Hari Hari, to which all the people responded, filling both the land and sky with the vibration.
Lord Chaitanya got everyone to chant Hari Hari.
So Lord Chaitanya got everyone to chant Hari Hari. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 25.176.
সকলের হরিবোল ধ্বনি বাহু তুলি প্রভু কহে বল কৃষ্ণ হরি দণ্ডবাদ করে লোকে হরিধ্বনি করি.
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed by the people, he would raise his arms and say, please chant Krishna, please chant Hari.
Krishna Hari!
Krishna Hari!
Krishna Hari!
Krishna Hari! Jai. All the people received him by chanting
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna. And they offered their respects to him by this chanting.
They also bow down and pay their prostrate obeisances.
Earlier it is said they also would bow down and offer their prostrate obeisances. Thus ends the chapter entitled Vārāṇasī Flooded, under the section how all the residents of Vārāṇasī became Vaishnavas.
Are you all ready to help Lord Chaitanya?
Are you all ready to help Lord Chaitanya? Even the rooftop is flooded now, Guru Maharaj.
Dear devotees, Guru Maharaj welcomes all those who are digitally present to his virtual book table and those who are here physically present to his physical book table right behind you. GMBT quote today, Srila Prabhupada wrote to Sri Galim on November 20, 1971. I want that my books should be very widely distributed, as many as possible. I am especially pleased to hear that your distribution of our books and magazines has increased. Go on in this way, increasing more and more. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The following fortunate devotees participated in the pastime and assisted Guru Maharaj in distributing books today. Balachandra Channa, Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi, Balavrinda, 2 small books. Divya Madhavi Devidasi from Bangladesh, 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set. Pranbeshwar Giridhari Das and Roti Rupa Keshavi Devidasi from Bangladesh, 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set. Neela Madhav Prasad Das and Neeleshwari Krishna Kanta Devidasi from Bangladesh, 1 Srimad Bhagavatam set. Asit Varna Govinda Das, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Haridas and Shaura Rani Saha, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Gopabandhu, 15 Bhagavad Gita. Krishna Ghosh, 1 Bhagavad Gita. Delhi NCR Daughters Group Leaders, leader Ratiprada Radhika Devidasi. Guru Maharaj will be back in a minute. Okay, please wait. Ratiprada Radhika Devidasi, 73 Bhagavad Gita. Achla Bhatia, 12 Bhagavad Gita. Komal, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Vishnukanta Vidushi Devidasi, 11 Bhagavad Gita. Radha Kishori Devidasi, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Revati Susevika Devidasi, 11 Bhagavad Gita. Harshita, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Annu Thoma, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Sadguru Sevanandini Devidasi, 11 Bhagavad Gita. Rukmini Harishevini Devidasi, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Mahasundari Gaurangi Devidasi, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Manisha Kaushik, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Narma Shaki Lalita Devidasi, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Rukmini Krishna Rani Devidasi, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Anandita Jhanava Devidasi, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Sonia Chau, 20 Bhagavad Gita. Dr. Sikot, 88 Bhagavad Gita. Divyasri, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Kriti Sharma, 1 Bhagavad Gita. Nikki Balyan, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Sonalika Singh, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Rini Mitra, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Keshu Gupta, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Supriya Jhambavati Mataji, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Diksha Ahuja, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Tharuni Vishnupriya Devidasi, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Renu Gambhir, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Mohana, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Varshana Keshavi Devidasi, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Punyavati Keshavi Devidasi, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Kusumji, 5 Bhagavad Gita. Namrata Nautyal, 10 Bhagavad Gita. Navani, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Riya Mataji, 1 Bhagavad Gita. Swagat Root, 2 Bhagavad Gita. Sujit Das from Mumbai, 6 Bhagavad Gita. Nityananda Ramadas from Chennai, 3 Bhagavad Gita. Deva Palaka Nitai Das from Chennai, 108 small books. TV Govindaraja from Tamil Nadu, 1 Bhagavad Gita and 2 small books. Sankirtan Dharmadas from Vrindavan, 108 Bhagavad Gita. These devotees helped and Guru Maharaj is distributing 744 Mahabig books, 112 small books, and in total 856 Srila Prabhupada Transcendental books today. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental book distribution ki jai. These devotees get a special Narasimha Puja in a few hours from now in Sridham Mayapur. All of you devotees, please bless them by calling out after me. Nitai Gauranga. Please pass on this wonderful opportunity of participating in the pastime of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Even if it's a single Bhagavad Gita or just a few small books, please do WhatsApp Guru Maharaj virtual table anytime at +91 94 34 76 04 02. Stay tuned for tomorrow Lord Chaitanya class. Thank you for your Thank you for your daily prayers with us. Please join us in offering our deep prayers continuously from Mayapur for His Holiness Jayapada Swami Guru Maharaj's health recovery to full extent swiftly is still not healthy enough. And of course, our prayers include for all those who are celebrating their anniversaries today, for their well-being and blissful Krishna consciousness. Let's pray together. Please chant along with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We've been from which yatras? How many have come? Is there any shelter or aspiring?
So devotees, except those devotees who came from Chennai with Shiva's Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, is it audible? They said Chennai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. என்ன ஆறுது? Hare Krishna. So Guru Maharaj, about 150 devotees from Tamil Nadu, they are here. So நம்ம இன்னைக்கு ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா கேக்குதா? இன்னைக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டில இருந்து வந்திருக்கிற பக்தர்களை வந்து நாங்க வருக வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றோம்.
So, Lord Chaitanya, he stayed 24 years in Navadvip.
ஸ்ரீ சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபு 24 வருஷம் வந்து அவர் நவதீப்ல இருந்தார்.
And this holy place, he stayed 24 years.
இந்த புனித தலத்துல அவர் 24 வருஷம் இருந்தார்.
And then he went to Jagannath-puri.
அப்புறம் அவர் ஜெகநாத் புரி போனார்.
And from there he went to South India.
அங்கிருந்து அவர் தென் இந்தியாவுக்கு போனார்.
To Andhra Pradesh, to Tamil Nadu, to Kerala, Karnataka.
ஆந்திர பிரதேசம், தமிழ்நாடு, கேரளா, கர்நாடகா, மகாராஷ்டிரா,
and to Gujarat.
குஜராத்ல இருக்கிற துவாரகாவுக்கும் போனார்.
Then he went back to Jagannath-puri.
அங்கிருந்து அவர் திருப்பியும் ஜெகநாத் புரிக்கு போனார்.
And he was going to Vrindavan.
அப்புறம் அங்கிருந்து அவர் பிருந்தாவன் போனார்.
He went to Malda and Ramkeli.
அதுக்கு முன்னாடி அவர் வந்து மால்தா, ராம்கேலி இந்த இடத்துக்கு போனார்.
He got as far as ஜாரிகண்டா. He got as far as
அப்புறம் அங்க இருந்து கண்ணை நாட்சலா என்ற ஒரு இடத்துக்கு போனார்.
He went back to was too many crowds of people.
திரும்பவும் அங்க இருந்து அவர் வந்து கண்ணை நாட்சாலால இருந்து ஜெகநாத் புரிக்கு போனார். ஏன்னா அவர்கிட்ட நிறைய மக்கள் கூடிட்டாங்க.
Then he went.
ஜார்க்கண்ட். அப்புறம் அவர் அங்க இருந்து ஜார்க்கண்ட் வனத்துக்கு போனார். அங்க இருந்து அவர் பனாரஸுக்கு போனார் வெகு சீக்கிரத்துல.
to Vrindavan
அங்கிருந்து அவர் பிருந்தாவனம் போனார்.
and Mathura.
மதுராவுக்கும் போனார்.
Then he came back and he preached to Swami in Prayag.
திரும்பவும் வர்ற வழியில அவர் வந்து பிரயாகத்துல வந்து ரூப கோஸ்வாமிக்கு பிரச்சாரம் பண்ணார்.
Then he went to Vārāṇasī.
அங்கிருந்து அவர் வாரணாசி போனார். அததான் இப்ப நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம்.
And he converted all the Mayavadi sannyasis and people in general to Vaishnavas.
அங்க அவர் இந்த மாயாவாதி சன்னியாசிகளும் பொதுமக்களையும் வந்து வைஷ்ணவர்களாக மாற்றினார்.
From here, I go back to
இப்ப இங்க வாரணாசில இருந்து சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபு திருப்பியும் ஜெகநாத் பூரிக்கு போவார்.
Anyway, that's the story there now.
So இதுதான் இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம படிச்சிருக்கோம்.
Lord Chaitanya had said that he was preach around India.
So சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபு சொல்லியிருக்கார் அவர் இந்தியா முழுவதும் பிரச்சாரம் பண்ணுவாங்க.
Later, after 500 years, he would send a body Bhakta to preach in the Western world.
பிறகு 500 வருடங்கள் கழிந்து அவர் சொல்லியிருக்கார் அவரோட சேனாபதி பக்தனை வந்து அனுப்புவார் இந்த வெஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல பிரச்சாரம் பண்றதுக்கு.
That Prabhupada was the Senapati Bhakta of Lord Chaitanya.
அதனாலதான் நம்ம வந்து ஸ்ரீல பிரபுபாதரை வந்து சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபுவோட சேனாபதி பக்தனா வந்து கருதுறோம்.
Lord Chaitanya said that those who are born in India are very fortunate.
சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபு சொல்லியிருக்கார் யாரெல்லாம் இந்தியால பிறந்திருக்காங்களோ அவங்க ரொம்ப பாக்கியசாலி.
They should achieve perfection and help other people to achieve perfection.
அவங்க வந்து இந்த வாழ்க்கையில அவங்க பரிபூர்ணத்தை அடைந்து மற்றவர்களுக்கும் வந்து பரிபூர்ணத்தை அடைய உதவி பண்ணுவோம்.
So you have a great responsibility to become perfect and help others.
உங்களுக்கு பெரிய கடமை இருக்கு. நீங்க வந்து இந்த பரிபூர்ணத்தை அடையணும், மற்றவங்களையும் வந்து பரிபூர்ணத்தை அடைய வந்து உதவணும்.
At that time, Bangladesh and Pakistan are all part of Bharat.
அந்த நேரத்துல பங்களாதேஷ், பாகிஸ்தான் இதெல்லாம் இந்தியாவோட ஒரு பாகமா இருந்தது, பாரதத்தோட ஒரு பாகமா இருந்தது.
So now for the political reasons there was division.
So இப்ப வந்து இந்த அரசியல் காரணங்களால இந்த பிரிவினை இருக்கு.
At that time there were no such divisions.
அந்த காலத்துல இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பிரிவினை கிடையாது.
Thank you all for coming here.
So உங்களுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன் இங்க வந்ததற்கு.
Thank you.
நன்றி.
For attending the class.
இந்த வகுப்பு வந்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி.
I hope you saw the baby boat festival.
நான் நம்புறேன் நீங்க வந்து பகவானோட படகு தெப்போத்சவத்தை பாத்தீங்கன்ட்டு.
Close for 2 more days.
ஒன்னு 2 நாள் இருக்கு.
I'll try to go between meetings.
So நான் வந்து இந்த அவரோட குரு மகாராஜ் அவரோட மீட்டிங்ல மத்தியில வந்து போக பார்ப்பார்.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So please stand in line. Please. For those devotees in Zoom, those who are celebrating your birthdays, etc., blessings from Guru Maharaj, Krishna Matirastu, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasinubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Gaur Hari. Shri Hari, happy birthday. Guru Maharaj is blessing you. Krishna Matirastu. Hari Hari. Hath din. Birthday blessing to Sri Vatsa Prabhu. கை வைக்காதீங்க கிளாஸ்ல.
கை வைக்க சொல்லுப்பா.
சாரி கொஞ்சம் வளரிட்டேன். ஐ மீன் கை வைங்க கிளாஸ்ல.
Please use your hand to feel the glass and then bring your head slowly. Don't bang your head on the glass. And those who have taken blessings, please move away so that others can come and take blessings. கையால கண்ணாடியை தொட்டு பார்த்துட்டு தலையை மெதுவா கொண்டு வாங்க, இல்லைன்னா தலை கண்ணாடி மேல இடிக்கும். அதனால பத்திரமா பாத்துக்குங்க. கண்ணாடி உடைஞ்ச மாத்திக்கலாம், தலையை உடைஞ்ச மாத்த முடியாது. Those who got blessings, please move aside so that others can take the blessing. Keep moving, keep moving. Please feel the glass with your hands before you put your head. கையால முதல்ல கண்ணாடி மேல கை வைங்க. கையை ஃபீல் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கு அப்புறமா நீங்க வந்து தலையை கொண்டு வாங்க. மெதுவா நிதானமா ஒவ்வொருத்தர வாங்க. கூட்டத்துல நெரிக்க வேண்டாம். எல்லாருக்கும் குருமராஜ் வந்து ஆசீர்வாதம் வழங்குவார். கையால கண்ணாடி இருக்கிறத ஃபீல் பண்ணிட்டு தலையை மெதுவா கொண்டு வாங்க. தலையை கொண்டாந்து கண்ணாடி மேல இடிக்காதீங்க. கையால கண்ணாடி இருக்கிற இடத்த பாருங்க. மெதுவா நிதானமா வந்து ஆசீர்வாதம் வாங்கிக்கோங்க.